So, playing a weird guitar here on guitarmastery.net, that's because this instrument here doesn't belong on this channel. A new YouTube channel coming up in relation to my new website called reinventingguitar.com. And this video is about an important distinction that you could make about soloing. Right now I'm recording a course that's called Soloing Redefined, and the whole website is a total breakdown of everything we know about how to learn guitar and how we structure everything from scales, arpeggios, everything. It's a huge deal for me, but go check it out. But let me just jump on now and focus on what is really the most important thing when it comes to soloing. Is it the rhythm? The rhythm. Is it when we play the notes? Or is it the notes themselves? Because you could say rhythm is when, and the notes is what, right? What is going on when, right? Notes and rhythm. But see, when we start soloing, we start with the first position, minor pentatonic or the blues scale, right? We start learning some licks, and then once we have some licks down, just a couple perhaps, or just a scale, we put on a jam track, and then we can play some stuff that doesn't sound crazy, right? It sounds like somewhere, music, right? But then we move on and say, okay, let me learn some new scales. Let me learn to play the pentatonic scale across the fretboard because I want that freedom, right? And then let me learn some arpeggios. Let me, and then we pile on. Let me learn some alternate picking stuff. I want to be able to play faster. Legato, I like the sound of that. Economy picking, we just pile it on. But in that process, hello, where's the 90% that makes up soloing? Where is that? Do we practice it? No. What is it called? It's the when, right? It's the whole sense of where we are in the music, first of all. Well, can you play a solo that starts and ends in a logical way, that you're developing it, right? Can we play solos that make sense musically, where we play something and then the next thing we play is because of what we just played? Like when you're telling a story, right? Now, everything is connected when I'm talking to you, preferably, right? So everything makes sense. When I talk, well, shouldn't it make sense when we play? I used to just play stuff, right? I got these 16 bars, and I used to just fire off as many notes as I could, or as many cool licks, or whatever, right? But it had no development, and the rhythm part of it, I had no focus on that, and there's a specific reason for that. Why don't we learn it as the first thing? Because I'm just going to give you a short example here. Let's say that I only have, I have all the notes I want to have, but I have only one rhythm, right? So I'm going to play the pentatonic scale, but I have only one rhythm, and it's the first thing I play. I have to repeat the same rhythm all the time. You tell me when it starts becoming boring, okay? So I'm just going to do the same track here. I include a link for this track underneath the video. It's called Funk Guitar Backing Track in G minor. I did not make it. It's made by someone who calls themselves Jam in Backing Tracks. So here we go. All the notes I want from the pentatonic scale in the key of G minor, but only one rhythm, right? So you tell me when it's boring. Are we done? Are we at it? Right? People are going, seriously? That's your solo? It just keeps on going like that, and suddenly the notes doesn't really matter because it's the same. Right? I could have chosen another rhythm, another, even cooler than this, but it would still be boring after a while because it's repetitive, right? But that was a lot of notes, but only one rhythm. What if I turn the whole thing around and say, I can use all the rhythms I want, 16 notes, triplets, quarter notes, whatever, right? But I can only use 2 notes. So now we have almost no notes, only 2. And then we have all the rhythms in the world just to decide what's most important. Where should we put our focus? And maybe you also find out why we have so many problems soloing. So let's try that. Okay, so 2 notes, and since this is G minor, I'm just gonna do the 7th and the 5th fret on the D string, right? almost like Daffy Duck there with the fifth fret. Okay, so this is G minor. Yeah, so it's third and fifth, all right? Let me take that up one octave. One octave. Okay, all the rhythms I want, but only these two notes. Right? If I just involve a couple of more notes, then it really opens up, right? So 4 notes is a good place to start. But as long as I have an unlimited availability of rhythms, I can really entertain people for a long time. Then how is it that, right? It never gets boring. But how is it then that we spend 99.9% of our time on the notes and we don't practice the when, only the what, right? So if you've been doing like I did, right, learning a lot of skills, a lot of techniques, and you practice like crazy, right? You want to learn this. And then suddenly you look back and say, hey, I lost half of music at least, right? I didn't give it the same focus. And the cool thing about rhythm is that it doesn't take that long to learn because you can bring it with you all day, right? You can constantly practice rhythm. So, and perhaps you heard me say this before, but I really like this example that really makes it so clear to me why we need to spend more time on rhythm. And you should always know what you're doing rhythmically. So what is that skill? Well, it's being able to, and you can test yourself on this, you can take any song you know and then get the pulse for it, right? And say, okay, where are we here? Let's say this was a song. Let's do something that's a little bit slower. Also going to include this from essential backing tracks underneath the video. So you can hear there's a click there, right? So we start with a count in. So you do this with every song you hear from now on. Can you sing the melody as you have that pulse? 2, 3. Right? Can you do that? So if this was whatever song, you try to sing the melody. And if that's hard, then you break it down and figure out not how to do this, but where this is. Right? Where the click is, and that's the key. Right? So let's say it's a song like I'm a Barbie Girl. The Barbie Girl song? Just to take something corny. So I go, I'm a Barbie girl. That's pretty easy, right? It's super easy because everything is on the pulse. So 1, 2, 3. This is my foot, right? There's foot going down. You walk down the street, you hear this in your headphones, right? I'm a Barbie girl. Super easy because everything is synced. I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world, but in plastic. It's fantastic. So that is the easiest song in the world to snap your fingers to, which is also a very simple song, right? But take a song like just Smoke on the Water, right? You go, ba da da. Oh, super simple. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, da da da, ba ba da da. What the heck, right? Suddenly you play on the offbeats here. So I figure out where is my snaps. This is essential. Stick with me. Right? If you can do this with every song, you are well ahead of 99% of your peers here. So I go ba, da, da. Oh, there's nothing on that. There's no da, 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 right? Da. Oh, so I say da and then I snap, da, and then I snap again. So it's in between the snaps. Da, 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 ba, 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 da, right? And you see, this can be such a mind, you're messing with your mind because you're trying to figure out where is the basic pulse in relation to the melody. Most people think they can do this already, but they can't. And we can all clap on the, in a concert, right? But if we have to go, the hard thing is to put emphasis on the thing that is out here. So we go ba, 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 ba. So we go ba, 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 and then ba, 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 da, right? That's the hard thing. So that's where you start. And you have to get this under control, right? So that's the message. And now I think I'm going to do just a super short review of this instrument here that I'll post also, but that's for another video. So I hope this was beneficial to you. Please remember that, having 2 or 3 notes, but all the rhythms in the world will make endless variety. Having endless notes, but only one rhythm will bore the heck out of any audience and yourself, right? So what is most important, notes or rhythm? It's totally turned upside down. And the final point, the reason why it's like that is because everything we do on this instrument is based on classical music. Everything, the way we tune, the way we learn, the way we put down scales on the fretboard, the whole cage system, everything is based on the priorities of classical music. Once you start pulling that apart and say, what if everything started with rock, fusion, jazz, pop music, the thing we know today, right? But how would we have developed the whole thing, right? And it's a totally different story then. So classical music goes up and down in tempo. Sa ba da 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 da. So we go. So the director goes like 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the pulse. It's like a hill and valleys all the way. And you have to kind of, estimate where are the 8 notes in this, right? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, right? So it becomes an estimation. And that's why we don't focus on rhythm when we're learning, to play rhythmical music as opposed to classical music. It's because we're used to it being an estimation. We're basically faking it, right? When we play classical music. But if you're faking it long enough, then you'll make it in the end, right? You fake it until you make it, right? But when we're playing music that has rhythm as its main element, then we need to turn the whole bucket upside down and start at the other end. So the second I had learned the first 4 notes of the first position minor pentatonic scale, someone should have told me, now it's time to master rhythm. And you can do that way faster than any other technique or thing you learn on this instrument. That's the whole joke, right? That it's not that hard. If you start and do it all the time, make it a habit every single day in everything you hear. Ba da 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 da, da 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 da, right? You start hearing and seeing rhythms everywhere. And that will make your 4 notes come alive like never before. Let me just see. We're in the key of B minor here. And as we fade out, I'm just gonna have some fun. Same 4 notes.